Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody around the world. Welcome back to the One Piece video featuring Smoker. Coming at you guys with another spicy deck profile featuring OP12 here on the channel, let alone a leader in which seems to be very fun right now in the current metagame with PRB2 finally having access to it here on the sim, along with being able to play decks that are currently in OP12 is a lot of fun. Now, I'm surprised I still know how to do my intro. It seems to be a very long time since I've been here, being able to put out videos. And if you guys didn't know or didn't pay attention, I have been sick for the past, 20 days, roughly. I haven't put out a video in like 20 days. Not because lazy or just couldn't have content, nothing. Your boy was down, man. I had no voice, coughing, the whole ordeal. Was not fun. I am glad, however, to be back, and we'll get back into it here when we're playing our games today. We'll talk about what I've been doing on the break, and what I have planned for the future here when it comes to content on the channel. But without further ado, today we are going to be diving into a smoker list, or smoker lists, if you will. I'll be playing I guess a bunch of different deck lists here when it comes to smoker. It's not going to be just strictly this list throughout the video. We're going to be changing decks and going about it as we typically do, playing a bunch of games. Now, I'm going to show you what deck list that we are going to be playing today, and we'll dive into a bunch of games as we always do here on the channel, in which we have finally gained access to PRB2, which gives us access to Kobe and Law, which I'm sure you guys have seen in numerous different variations of Smoker, probably. But if not, if you live on Need for Rock, welcome to a very strong card for this deck. This is something that Smoker lacked, something that Smoker really needed to make use of, and we finally have a Kobe or a card in which draws us more cards. For example, Kobe, on the other hand, is a 5k body, 4 cost, right? So if you guys lose a die roll and you go second, which your opponent's typically going to try to take first from you because it throws off our curve a lot when we're playing around with 5 cost Smoker, being able to stack this on board enables this to be a 7k on your opponent's side because you gain access to your leader ability here, which gives Punk Hazard or Navy type characters additional 1000 power on your opponent's turn, right? On top of Kobe's innate ability on your opponent's turns, also gains an additional 1000 power, so this becomes a 7k. With the added ability, when this card attacks, if you have 6 cards or less in your hand, you just get to draw one for free. That's it. Plus, he gets to pop characters on your opponent's side of the field that are 3000 power base or less, which is really strong. Outside of that, we have gained access to the 6 cost Law. I personally not a huge fan. He's a good card. Don't get me wrong, it's a good card. I'm not a big fan because I think people get this sense that Law and Kobe go together, in which they don't really, considering that it has to be 3000 base power or less. It's not if you reduce something under 3000 power, then Kobe can pop it. That's not how it works. The upside to Law is you minus 2000 power from whatever card you decide to, to choose. So if you attack into a character on board, you can minus it by 2k. And this is essentially a 9k going into whatever, which is really nice. Outside of that, he can't be removed from removal spells. You can only use that ability once per turn. So against those removal decks, Rob Lucci or Blackbeard, this is kind of pretty good, unless they black hole you. But outside of that, Law, okay? Going second, pretty strong. Outside of that, you're not really going to play him down or look to play him down in most cases. But, still a pretty solid card. This deck list is still going to run around with Ben Beckman. I very much favor this. If you guys have been playing Smoker for a long time, you know that Ben Beckman was originally around in most Smoker variations. With the Otama, you play Ben Beckman, you pop whatever on board. In this situation, we have access, again, to the Law. So, if you go second, and you have Law in hand, you're able to stick this on board. You have an option of swinging with Law, and then play down Ben Beckman to trash something of 6000 power or less, which is pretty strong. This enables you to hit a lot bigger targets, considering the minus 2k, which is kind of nice. But this also allows you to remove a bunch of yellow cards that are problematic or sticky, such as things like the Kuma and the Kikinojo, of course, because if it's KO'd, they get the heal, and Kuma. And this is after the turn this is already played, right? But you can trash this, therefore your opponent cannot heal a life. So your Katakuri players, your Namis, your Eustace kids. I think Beckman still is pretty good here, but he might not make the cut in my final variation of Smoker. I am still heavily leaning towards this, but I'm also playing around with different things here when it comes to the deck list. The other new cards we have now are going to be Jewelry Bonnie that came out in OP12 with the added addition of Mihawk. Being able to play Mihawk down for essentially free, right? Because you play him for 8 Dawn on curve, then you restand 4, and then you restand 2 more Dawn with your leader ability, and if you have Smoker on board, you restand an additional Dawn. So you can play Mihawk down on curve if you have the 5-cost Smoker, technically for free, which is really, really good. Now, on 9 Dawn, for you guys, you drop a Mihawk, right? You restand 4, okay? What happens? Now you're at 5 Dawn, right? You restand 2 more with your Smoker ability. Now you're at 7. You can drop down on Jewelry Bonnie, spend 5, and then you can draw 2 extra cards. Assuming you've already attacked with your leader and maybe your 7 or your 5 drop Smoker on board. You get to draw 2 and then cycle 1, then you get to restand a Dawn with Bonnie and a Dawn with Smoker, which is pretty good because that leaves you Dawn up to utilize your Igloo or utilize your Waterfall, your Dead Man's Game, your Spiderweb. It's a pretty solid combination, especially when you're able to get down 2 bodies for 8 Dawn, technically. But overall, we will be diving into a bunch of games today. I'm going to show you guys the other variations I've been playing around with, and we're going to get into it. Now again, we'll probably play with like 3 different deck lists today. So, mind you, we're going to be all over the place, and I'm sorry, but it is what it is. This is my other variation of Smoker that I've been playing around with. We've been utilizing the 3-cost Sanji here still, and we've been utilizing a 3-cost Rosinante. Everything else is kind of the same outside of Electrical Luna. The deck is going to play in the way of the other deck, except for just a little bit of added cards here. Sanji, I do want to keep in my main variation of Smoker when we get to it. I think this card is still pretty good, especially when you're playing up against the Rush aggro decks, so like Rayleigh, or any deck that has on KO effects, so Blackbeard and stuff. This enables you to draw extra cards. On top of that, this is a 6k on your turn, so by attaching 1 Dawn to this, you can enable your leader ability. Or, if you go first and you have Peacock, Peacock can search, whatever you need, right? On your following turn, you can play down Sanji for 3. Now you have 0 Dawn left. You can trash Peacock, boost this by 1000. Now it's a 7k. Then you can go ahead and restand 2 extra Dawn. There's just a lot of ins and outs to Sanji being very good in most Smoker variations that you can come up with. I think this card is a staple in most cases. And I do want to include this and play around with this card still going into PRB OP12. The other addition here is going to be Rosinante. Just a tech choice, realistically. Because you guys are going to be playing up against a bunch of green decks. You guys are going to be playing up against Bonnie, Zoro, Dead Man's Game, in which both of these cards rest, things on your side of the board. With Rosinante, if they decide to rest the Rosinante or your Dawn or what have you, you can still just restand this when your opponent attacks. So in the late game, this has a lot of value against green decks, which is kind of nice. But in any case, the last build is going to be what I'm considering my main Smoker. But again, I'm still thinking about adjusting stuff here. Whereas in this variation, I have 3 different searchers, but they all search, for Smoker, which is good. 2 of them search for the Law, right? Because you have Perona searching out for Slash, and then you have Virgo searching out for Punk Hazard, and then you have only Peacock searching out for Kobe. I want to see the Kobe in pretty much almost all of the matchups in the current format, in which I have a hard time dropping Peacock just because I want her here to be able to, to search the Kobe. The other downside to this particular build here is we don't have Sanji. So I'm thinking about just dropping the Perona to be able to keep Sanji in this deck. But then again, I would have to drop perhaps the Spiderweb, the Perona to add in other cards here. But I digress. Let's dive into a bunch of games today. I'll see you guys in a split second. Let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're gonna dive into a bunch of games today. Coming at you guys with Smoker playing into Pudding and OP12 PRB2. Now, if you guys don't want to hear what's been going on, what's been happening and stuff, go ahead and skip this match, go into the following one. I have been very, very sick, unfortunately. I believe I came down with pneumonia. Of course, we don't go to the doctor. Who does that? I didn't break a leg or anything. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I had pneumonia, which was terrible due to the fact that I ended up going to a One Piece event, right? And then 2 days after that, it was around like early Tuesday, I want to say, roughly. I got really, really sick. And since then, I've been sick for almost a little over 2 weeks, right? I had a cough, which was more so like a nagging cough. Like, I could talk to you for a little bit, but I definitely didn't have a voice at all. Like, I could breathe just fine. Perfectly fine. The worst was when I wanted to go to sleep, or that's when most of the problems occurred. So, I mean, I was on medication and all that sort of thing. You know, just a normal cold stuff, right? But I've had pneumonia before, and I think this was a mild case, because last time this happened, I sounded like a mouse. I don't know, that's kind of crazy, but like, yeah, I sounded like a mouse. It was bad. But we're finally over this one, and we're back into making videos, because I believe the last video that we put out was Katakuri, and that was roughly 20 days ago. So yeah, I've been sick for a minute. So, hey, look, when you guys go out to these events, locals, tournaments, whatever you guys are doing when there's a bunch of people, just be mindful, man. I understand that, you know, some of us, we go out, we go to the gym, we go home, we do our thing. We felt good when we went, but then when we come home, we don't know what happened. It's just the people that you're around sometimes. You have all these other nerds that are hanging out at these events. They just want to get cards. They want to have fun. But you can't control them if they're sick, right? You only can be mindful of yourself, obviously. So when you end up catching something, it feels really bad, man. It's just one of those ordeals where if you're sick, stay home, you know? But I learned my lesson, I think. It's more so for me, like when I'm going to these big events and stuff, for people that come in sick, now it's just like, I need to just leave y'all alone, stay away from you, you know what I mean? Because obviously you don't care about yourself enough to be here with all these other people getting everyone else sick. So there's just, it's so much of that. But feeling better now. We're back to making content, in which we will be doing a whole lot of content. I have a lot of stuff to catch up on, man. Missed 20 days, roughly. I have a lot of videos to put out for this month before OP13 comes in November. So on top of, we have to do a lot of local stuff here. I will be playing Smoker, Emu. I'm debating on Pudding, just for a little bit. But I'm not 100% because I sent off all of my big moms and stuff to get graded. So I kind of think that's just going to be a shelf deck for the time being. She did get some new support in EBO3, which is kind of nice. We got some new big mom cards. So perhaps, but I think for the upcoming locals content, we're going to be playing around with Smoker, Emu, and then of course I'm going to build Red Blue Ace, probably. I think that's going to be like the back burner deck, but mainly Smoker and Emu. I think those are going to be my two main decks going forward here, at least for the time being. Now, in PRB, in which currently we're in, you guys will be getting a lot of Smoker content coming to the channel. You might even get some yellow decks here and there. I might be playing around with Enel or Katakuri here or there. I haven't 100% fully decided, but I will be doing as many locals videos as possible. I wanted to talk about this just briefly on behalf of, I don't know if Sim is going to be here forever. We don't know that, right? Bandai also wants to put out their own edition, or sorry, variation of this sort of app. We don't know. It might be free, we might have to pay for it, who knows? But I would imagine both of these aren't going to coexist So who knows if the sim's going to be here forever. So I do want to get out more locals content to draw in both crowds of people. You know what I mean? Although locals content does not do very, very well here. And that's not just because it's locals, it's more so the algorithm with YouTube, where I've been putting out a lot of sim videos, right? So YouTube pushes my sim videos because that's what I've been mainly for this channel when it comes to One Piece. So by putting out locals content, it's the same game, but it's delivered to you differently. So in the algorithm, it's pushed differently, which is the issue, even though it's the same exact, game per se. But again, it's just delivered to you on a different scale. So I do have to keep that in mind, that locals does not do as well as sim, but I still want to be able to reach out to both variations of people when it comes to what content you guys prefer. Now, I want to branch out to as much as I can, so we're going to be going with locals content, we're going to be going with sim content. No, nothing's going to change here when it comes to sim content. It's just when I go out to play with locals, I record a lot of games. You know what I mean? So I'm looking to spam out those as long as spamming out sim content as much as possible here for you guys. So stay tuned to that. I will be going out possibly this weekend here when it comes to Smoker. So you guys should be getting content on Smoker as well. Oh, forgot Kuzan's still around. So we'll be playing Kuzan, Smoker, and Emu. My bad. I do have some Kuzan content to give you guys as well, so there's going to be that. But I just wanted to give you guys an update here, what I plan on doing with the channel going forward, along with where I've been, why I was sick, why I was out, all that sort of thing. But just take care of yourselves, man. I mean, going out to these big events and stuff, you never really know what you're going to get into until you get there, of course. And, you got to take care of yourselves. If not, you could end up like me, being sick and being mad about being sick but can't do anything about it. So it kind of was a double edge there. But in the downtime, I did, however, get involved in other gaming aspects, right? So we got to do other things instead of just playing One Piece content or One Piece stuff. We were able to play around with Borderlands 4, and that was a lot of fun for me. And it's interesting because my channel is mainly focused for One Piece, right? It's very hard to include other content into a channel when it's not a variety. You know what I mean? Whereas it's primarily for One Piece. So by including any other content into a channel that has nothing to do with your normal, it really hurts the channel. So having fun playing other games kind of feels like I really shouldn't be playing this, I shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? It feels like I should be working. You know what I mean? But I had fun, man. We played around with Borderlands. We played some other horror games and stuff just in the downtime when I was sick. So, I mean, I had a lot of fun with that. I got to play around with some, what are they called, like 4X games, I believe. So things like Civilization-esque and stuff, which is a lot of fun. It's very relaxing, if you will, but at the same time, I felt really bad because I was playing other games in which I couldn't necessarily record and upload because I had no voice, So, but it does feel pretty good to be able to be back here and do videos, play One Piece, and be able to actually speak. So, I have thought about, however, doing streams, which I did mention to you guys. I do think that's going to be more so for One Piece, but streaming will be more so for me, like fun variety. I'm not looking to make like a huge amount of money off that or anything like that. It's just to like bring in viewers, get personality here, you know what I mean? Just to hang out and have fun. So that might be something I'm looking forward to doing in the future when it comes to playing other games. But who's to say? That could be very, very soon. It could be next year. Not 100% just yet. It's probably going to be next year. Early next year. But there's so many good games that are coming out in which I want to be able to interact and have fun with my audience and all that sort of thing, whether it's like a party game or what have you. in the Discord or whatever. That could be pretty cool. But I digress. We're back into One Piece here. We do have some treasure cups coming up next month, in which I'm very much looking forward to. I think we will be playing Smoker, opposed to playing Kuzan. Because I think I am, at this point, Kuzan'd out, if you will. Not that Kuzan's bad by any means. It's just, I feel like every time I play Kuzan, my luck is terrible. I end up playing against a blue-purple Luffy. Yeah, it's kind of rough. There's that. But I've been playing that deck since it came out, of course, and I feel like I haven't given any other deck my time or a chance. And by playing Smoker, it's something a little different, which is exciting. And it's fun. It can be built numerous different ways, whereas Kuzan is kind of just the same deck, and which is getting support, which is nice. But I also consider going into OP13 and playing a meta deck for, I don't want to say for once, but like playing a meta deck such as Emu that's similar to Blackbeard in this regard, that when the deck comes out, it's built this way and this way only. So I'm hoping I don't get super bored with it, but we'll see. We're almost there. It's next month. You guys do have to keep in mind of signing up for the pre-release, so don't miss your opportunity of signing up for that, because I know these spots are going to fill very, very soon. I think OP13 is going to be a very, very hype set, because we finally get to play around with Ace, another 6K leader who is very, very exciting, on top of Emu for the first time, and then of course the one and only Zoro does get some buffs, so there's going to be that as well. And Roger's here too, so we'll see. Either way, we're probably going to play a bunch of games today. I'm going to try to keep them not as long, but I digress. I don't know how many games we're going to do. I'm just going to keep this under like an hour if I can. And we'll get into it, because after this one, I want to probably play around with either Zoro or Purple Katakuri, considering PRB is finally here. Let's go ahead and dive into another one. But yeah, because I've been having fun with Katakuri as well. I think Katakuri is a little bit of an interesting deck, so I think a lot of people are kind of disregarding it, even though we finally gained access to the new 7-drop pudding, which makes the deck so much more consistent. Being able to cheat out 8-cost Katakuris, or getting your draw cards, which is something the deck also struggles with. It's kind of nice, man, but it still can't really stand up to some of the other leaders here in the current metagame, you know what I mean? But it's still it's a fun deck. But I digress. We are playing it up against Marco this time around, and Marco has gotten some new tricks here in PRB, because he's gained access to a brand new Marco card, which, when we KO it, they get the draw too. And the card itself is already problematic, especially when Marco can search it out and be able to play it down on curve, or just have it on board. Just refills the hand a lot, so just kind of nice. But we have ways of removing that with Beckman. If it comes down to it, it's not necessarily like a big threat. I think in this matchup here, we have to play around the removal, which Marco has a lot of. So we're going to need to have the Tashigi and the Smoker, which we actually opened up with here, so I'm not too mad about it. I think we could be fine here. We need to see a Kobe, because he does play a lot of chump blockers, such as Duval. So we have to try to play around these blockers to enable Smoker to get the banishes off, which I think is going to be pretty good in this matchup here. The other upside, to be able to remove my cards, he has to do a little more, because Smoker's a 7K, so, or sorry, an 8K, which is really nice. Another Seaquake. Ain't mad about that, that's fine. 4 Dawn open. So I think Smoker's going to be safe this turn. And thankfully we have another Tashigi in hand. Sure. We get a Dead Man's Game, which is really good. There's a Kobe. I kind of definitely want to play this on board. I mean, we can have the Kobe and the Tashigi this turn, which is nice. And then we can still restand 3 Dawn, so we can have the Dawn active for our event. But We'll go 7 here first. This is just to get cards. Never mind, he takes the hit. Interesting. I don't know why he didn't guard there with the Duval. To be fair, otherwise he wouldn't have got the banish there. But now we get to go ahead and establish the Kobe, and next turn we can go ahead and pop the Duval and swing again with the Smoker, in hopes to get another banish swing off. We'll just pass here. I don't necessarily need the other Don right now. It's fine. Because I really don't plan on using the DMG. The Igloo, probably, but... Because Marco is on, what, 8 Don? That's 8, right? That's math? Yeah, it's 8. Okay. So that means he has access to Newgate here as well. Which Newgate could pop the Tashigi. Yep, so there's the Newgate. Or he can pop Kobe. What's he do that with? On Smoker. Okay. Why'd you choose Smoker, though? Unless he plans on attacking into Smoker this turn. Just to get cards out of hand. There's the Newgate's ability. Sure. I don't know why he chose Smoker. Okay. Fair. Just gonna go 7. I'll give you a 2. We'll save the event for now, then. Because Duval can't really do anything of importance here. We get another X-Drake, which is nice. We've got 6 cards in hand, so we can swing here with Kobe to be able to draw an extra card this turn, which is cool. But we'll go ahead and do the Mihawk first, of course, and then we can swing with Kobe, pop the Duval, draw an extra card, and then Smoker is cleared to get another banish swing. Or, because we're at 7, right? We could Mulgun the Newgate. Which feels really bad, but perhaps it's a guaranteed pop. So I think I've played against Marco way too many times now, just in general, in which when we enable the Whitebeard to stay on board, it becomes more problematic, right? Just because Marco's leader ability on top of Newgate makes it very, very strong. Can this hit, please? I should have popped Peacock, that's my bad. I definitely should have popped the Peacock there to give us the boost. There's an Honesty Impact. Yeah, that would have sucked if we swung first. That would have been pretty bad. We'll go -5 here. And it's probably better for us to swing 7 into it, honestly. Because we go 7, and we just keep up the 2 Don. Oh, it's a 3. It's a 3. That's math, my bad. We're good, we're good, we're good. Cool. And now we have too much Don playing around with. We'll pass turn here, that's fine. But yeah, definitely should have popped the Peacock to give Smoker an additional 1,000. That's my bad. I totally forgot about that. But having the Newgate gone is really good, considering he doesn't have anything else on board here. So if he had a Rayleigh, which he did have actually. Round 2, perhaps? Okay. I haven't really had too many problems with this matchup, although I feel like people are saying that it's favored towards Blackbeard, but having Law, having access to the Tashigis make this matchup pretty simplistic. In any case, before we dive into this one, if we did not pop that Newgate, Marco had the Sanji and Rayleigh in hands, which means he plays the Sanji down, kicks the Rayleigh on board. With the Newgate already down, he had access to popping either Smoker or Kobe and then running the leader into the other one, which would have probably turned that game in his favor, if I had to guess. Because we did have Mihawk though, right? So I mean, I guess we could at least guarded the swing, but we would have lost the Smoker there. So I'm glad we were able to remove that, because I feel like if we left the Newgate on board, the game itself just becomes a lot harder for no reason. So thankfully we had the answer for it. Either way, we're gonna dive into this Blackbeard matchup here with Smoker, and which should be, I still think it's favored for you, realistically. Especially if you guys have access to either Kobe, the Law, or Tashigis to be able to protect your Smoker. It makes Teach have to do double the work, in which the deck itself is just so telegraphed. Each turn you you should pretty much be able to play around with what Teach is going to be able to do. I mean, you either have the black hole on Fordon or you don't have it, right? On Fordon, we're not really playing anything for him to get value with the black hole. So, he plays down what? Searchers or Shiryu? Or how do you say his name? Shiryu? You know, the dude with the sword. And then you have the one cost blockers. Like, he doesn't have a whole lot of early game to be able to combat Smoker. Whereas we have the protection, we have the law, which enables so much in itself in this matchup. Being able to stick one of those on board is just really, really good here. Let's go ahead and just remove this for now. I know he gets to draw a card, but again, if next turn he has access to another Von Augur, it just makes this a little bit easier for him, because he can just minus our Tashigi, then pop it with Doctor, so there's that. We don't have Smoker, which does kind of suck. That's really, really bad, actually. Because now we can't restand Dawn to protect the Kobe either. Let's hope he doesn't have an answer for this. He should, but if he doesn't, we're in business. Because Kobe swings in for 5s or whatever, and we just pop the blockers on board for free. Which is really good for us here. Because now he needs to establish an Augur on board and a Doctor to be able to deal with the Kobe here, where he black holes me. In which he throws away black hole for stage. So, that's a little weird. Okay. Yeah, I don't get that one. Unless he wants to establish a body here. Okay, let's play Kuzan for... Okay, Lafitte, Kuzan. No search. Throws away Spiral. Interesting. There's not a whole lot of on-plays here that really matter for us right now. I don't know if I needed to activate Leader Skill there as Blackbeard or not, to be fair. But we'll take those. Where we stand 2? I guess popping the blocker is probably a little bit more valuable here, to be honest with you. Because he can just remove the Kobe in the following turn, you know what I mean? And then he still gets to keep the blocker on board. I don't necessarily care too much about the search, to be honest. So that's fine. We'll go 5 again here. I think he has to take the hit here. I mean, he took the first 5, so... Oh, he did. Okay. We'll get down Tashigi and we'll pass it over here. Now, Tashigi doesn't protect either one of my other characters here, but in case we draw the Smoker or have a Mihawk to be able to play down the following turn, then Tashigi is going to hold a lot of value. But for the time being, the only thing that he can realistically pop is Kobe, right? Because the law is going to stay on board here, which is nice. So he gets the Shiryu. The Shiryu. There we go. It's so hard for me to say that name. I don't know why. Sometimes I get it, I'm spot on. Other times it's just not English. So I apologize. So he does the search here for Lafitte. What are we getting? 10 cost beard? No, he gets another Kuzan. He's gonna go 5. Okay. I can take 1 hit, but I'd rather stay a little bit healthy going into the following turn just in case we get a Hody Jones. So I cannot take the Blackbeard swing here. Unless he goes for Kobe. And I think if he does go for Kobe, we're still going to guard out. But if he goes for lead, we definitely will guard here. So he pitches the Kuzan, draws a free card, gets the Augur. Okay. Okay. So pops this. That's pretty good. Unfortunate. Goes 5 here. We can give you the Kobe. Yep. See, now is the time to use Leader Skill, I would think, right? I would think. because he can stop the Mihawks from restanding Dawn. But we still benefit from Hody if we had Hody here as well. Because we don't have to take a life, so. Alright, let's get Smoker on board. Restand 2. He's got 6 in hand. I still don't necessarily care about the Lafitte, honestly. I probably should, but I want to go ahead and minus this here, and then we can pop the Lafitte, I guess. Make this a 5. Then we can attack into the Blackbeard here. This way we're able to remove 2 bodies this turn. Yes, he still gets to get the Teach back from trash if he wants to, which isn't really too big of a deal. We'll minus here again. Puts him to 1. We'll go 5 lead. Remember, I cannot pop this. It has to be the base cost. But it does enable us to draw a card, which is nice. Sure. I mean, we might as well, right? Yeah, it's fine. We'll go 6 here. Yep. Now, we know he doesn't have any 10 cost beards and trash, so I really wasn't worried about that all too much. He does get a blocker, though. Although, if he doesn't have a 10 cost beard in hand here, he's not really going to play down the 1-drop blockers anyway. Because I'd imagine he has to play 10 cost if he has it. Which means he can't protect from 3 swings next turn. So perhaps he goes for removal here. In which Law should be safe. Okay, plays another 10 cost each. Or sorry, 7 cost each on board. Yep. Yep. 3 Dawn open. Still has to use stage. He's going to play down double blocker, maybe. Leaves 2 Dawn open. So yeah, probably double blocker here. Which Kobe can pop 1. Goes 6. Might as well give you the 2k here. Because if we're not able to win next turn, if we go down to 1 life, then we just lose right now. Yep. 2k. Playing double blocker here doesn't really matter. He does get to keep 1 on board. At the very least. Oh yeah, I forgot we have this. We'll go ahead and rest both. That's a card. It's pretty good. Restand 2. And good game. We know he has at least 1 2k. Bare minimum. Oops, there we go. We'll go 9 here. We'll just minus whatever. Okay, so we put him on 0. We'll swing 7, then we'll go 9 again. We'll draw a free card, which is nice. We'll pop a blocker. And a good game. Unless he's got all those 2Ks. I doubt it. Oh, he had them. Okay, alright. We might be cooked. It's a possibility. It's a real possibility here. Sure. What does he get? Does he get the 10 beard? I mean, he gets a Kuzan. I suppose even if he had gotten 10 beard here, it wouldn't have mattered, right? Unless he freezes the Kobe. Because if he freezes the Kobe, then we can't pop the Caribou. We'd have to draw a Hody at that point. Yep. So I'm gonna go 10. I do have to guard out. Or, not really, but we're gonna guard out here anyway. Because why not? We'll just keep both bodies on board this turn if possible. Yep. Don't do it. Ooh. That feels bad. Because at the end of the day, he could have done that to begin with, and then just ran Blackbeard into the Law there. Because I think even if he had popped the Kobe, it wouldn't have mattered, because, you know, we still have 2 swings. Because you can't use the Blackbeard effect otherwise. So, well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into another game today. Come at you guys with Smoker, playing into Yellow Katakuri in OP12. In which this is another deck that we just put here on the channel. I think it's a lot of fun, especially if you guys are very much interested in Big Mom Pirates. Yellow Katakuri is very aggressive in the current format. Having access to the Kikinojos and the Kuma, being able to out-sustain or heal up into green matchups, along with having the 10-drop Big Mom, is pretty good. I don't see why a lot more people aren't playing this deck. Katakuri has some pretty good matchups right now, especially into Bonnie, of course. You have Bonnie matchups, you have Zoro. I think some of your hardest stuff is probably going to be the blue-purple Luffy. That's just me. But I also think there's not a lot of data when it comes to who's playing what in the current format. People are just playing decks that other content creators say are really, really good, let's be fair. But there are a lot of sleeper picks out here. Katakuri, the other yellow deck. I'm blanking on his name. Skypea, the yellow guy. You guys know what I'm talking about. I think those decks have a lot of sway, if you will. I think aggro decks are doing really, really good. Being able to go wide early, especially when it comes to Katakuri. And I'll think of his name when I'm not thinking about it. But yeah, man, Katakuri's pretty good. I wish I would see it more at my local scene, but we don't, unfortunately. But Smoker, on the other hand, for PRB2, I believe going back up to locals here on Friday and Sunday this week, there's going to be a lot of Smoker players. And I'm here for it. I'm down, man. Seeing new decks just breathes life into this game, more so than seeing things like, you know, like Rob Lucci or like Blackbeard, the same old shenanigans. Jewelry, Bonnie, Zoro. It's just, you see these decks everywhere. So being able to have a new deck set, or sorry, new set that comes up, PRB, to be able to give older decks new cards, makes the game fun again. It makes it worth exploring, worth playing around with new builds, trying new things. It feels good. Now, after this set, I don't know if Smoker's going to stick around in OP13. I'd hope so, but we'll see when we get there. For the time being, though, Katakuri, I think we're favored here. I'm almost certain we're favored in this matchup. Just because we're able to have a Tashigi on board with Smoker, being able to constantly have banish pressure every turn, it makes it pretty good for us. Because he has to either give us his hands or just take the banish swings. And those opportunities where Katakuri decides to swing into you and then leave the top card on life, either it's going to be a trigger or a card he needs in the late game, which for some reason he kept Veggie there instead of moving it to the bottom, which is kind of crazy unless he's already has a zero cost event. I don't remember. Because I don't remember when he swung the first time if he put the card there on bottom or not. I'm not 100%. But I think I would have moved Veggie to the bottom there if I didn't have zero cost. So, a little weird. We'll go 7 here. We have 5 Dawn open. I do think Kobe here is pretty good in this matchup. Just because we're going to need to have the extra card draw. Not necessarily for the 7k body that he brings on the board. It's just having that consistent card draw each and every turn is just going to be really, really good here. Let's go and get the search with Virgo. I mean, we'll take the 2k. Law doesn't really get us a lot of value here, I don't think. We don't necessarily need to have any extra Dawn. We just need it 2 for the turn. This way we can use Igloo. Because if he decides to develop a body on board, he doesn't have enough Dawn to attach the Kikinojo or to Leader to do anything of relevance here. Because I think he needs to clear the Smoker. Plays Kuma to heal here, which is not bad. But you're only swinging, what, 9k, I believe? Is that math? I think that's math. Puts 2, 1 in life. Trash is a 2k counter. Interesting that he's playing these 2ks. I guess it's for the search consistency, maybe. Plays Zeus. Yep. Takes top. Trashes Tashigi or the Kobe here. Tries to trash Smoker instead. Interesting. Why would you do that? Unless he's just going to attack into Tashigi. Okay. I think that was weird, right? That was definitely weird. Because you should have popped the Tashigi. Why'd you play Zeus? I don't know. I think that turn was all messed up for him, realistically. Because he should have just kept the Zeus in hand in that regard. And then just swung into the Smoker to force me to get cards out of hand. But, hey, you know what? We'll take it. Oop, I messed up. That's my bad. I get overzealous. I always do this. Almost every game. To be fair. It's either I do that, or I use my mulligan early, and I forget to attach the Dawn to the Kobe. That happens a lot to me, too. But, anyway, let's go 7 lead. Let's banish another card off life here. Last time we did this, he gave me a 0-cost event, so... That's the second 0-cost event. Never mind. Sure. We get the draw off Kobe here as well, which is good. Yeah, I guess going 5 is fine. Because we have the Mihawk here. Let's swing with Kobe first. Just in case he gets a trigger to pop the Kobe. Okay. We're chilling. We're gonna go 7, and then restand our Dawn. Put him the 1 life. As much as I want to play down the Perona, it's not worth it, considering I don't have anything on board that I want to trash. That's why we decided to go 7 instead of going 6. Oh, okay. Now we do. But that's fine. I believe we've already restood Dawn there, so I don't remember. I think we did. Yeah, we did. Okay. So here's the Big Mom. Yep. I mean, that's math. Okay. Oopsie. Okay. I'm gonna say he forgot. Alright, he forgot that we got the +1. Although it does say that in text. In green. So. There's that. We could have guarded out both of those swings anyway, but still. Because we have the blockers on board, so. Okay. I try to get round 2. It is what it is. I guess he's a little triggered that he made the mistakes, I'm assuming, and that's fine. Yep. That's fair. Last round it is what it is. Sure. That's gotta be a 0-cost, right? Or a Beji. I don't want to take the chance. Let's just go. Let's just do this. Just in case. Okay. I think going 12 might have been overkill, but it's fine. And good game. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Diving into the matchup today with Smoker playing into green-purple Luffy, in which I feel like this matchup is very, very difficult for you if you don't see the cards you need. If you see the cards you need, I feel like it's favored. Going aggressive, being able to draw into the 5-cost Smoker, whether or not you're searching for it or have it in your opener hand, is very vital here, along with having Mole Pistol. I think I win more matchups into this deck if we have Mole Pistol in the opener, because we can typically search out Smoker with, like 3 different searcher variations. So, Mole Pistol allows us to remove the Sanji Pudding. And again, I feel like if we don't see that card, it's very, very hard to win this match. And speaking of which, we ended up getting enough life here. Now, with that being said, Luffy runs off of Sanji Pudding. And considering we only have to spend 4 Dawn to pop the card is just, it's fantastic. Although they have like 12 searchers now, because they have the new Nami, they have Zoro, they have the Wano Luffy, then they have the search events, right? 4, 8, 12, 16, that's 16 searchers, my bad. I think there's one more that I'm missing. I think. But either way, I don't know why he's slow playing here, so I'm gonna try to edit this video as much as possible, at least this matchup here, because I feel like a lot of players as of late have just been doing things like this. I don't know. Anyway, drop down Peacock. We'll take the 2K. Not necessarily that we need it on board, but I don't know what this deck is running. So we're gonna go 5 here. Normally we would have won 8, but I think a lot of Luffy players take the first hit or are more inclined to take the first couple swings. If we get cards out of hand, cool. If not, it be what it be. Alright, so we'll put him down to 3 life. And then I'll just go ahead and establish Tashigi here. We'll pass turn over. Because if we have Sanji P on curve, we have to have Smoker and Mulgun here. Which will play Smoker first, because we'll be at 6 Dawn, right? We get 3 stand, 2 with lead. That puts us to 3, and then 1 more with the Smoker effect. That way we can pop the Sanji Pudding on board. And then Smoker is protected due to Tashigi, just in case Luffy's running any sort of shenanigans. 2 Dawn open. He does get the stage, which is really good. Okay, just go 7k lead, and we'll take this hit as well. Otherwise, we're getting rid of our Kobe and our 2k counter here. We get another Kobe. Not necessarily the best, but it is what it is. My guy is really slow playing me here, man. It's like, you have 1 Dawn open, you got 7 in hands, you passed the turn, man. You're not playing anything else down at this point, unless you're playing a searcher there. But, look how fast our turn goes. And this is one of those things which I've also been thinking about at like local scene and stuff, where we took about, what, 10 seconds there, maybe if that, to figure out what we wanted to do. We dropped the Smoker, we Mulgun it, and then that's pretty much it. We've already ended our turn because we can't swing. Meanwhile, our opponent's just hanging out, just chilling. And people will do this stuff over at locals too. They take that extra time for no reason, just to slow the game down. And because they're playing like a 6k leader or they have very strong late game, some decks can't push through that. But with them eating up the clock, it makes it a little difficult. And again, my guy, taking 10 years to do a turn here today. It's crazy. But like I said, we'll try to go ahead and edit this matchup as much as possible here. Thank you. Appreciate it. But either way, we remove the Sanji Pudding. And now they're in a pickle, because they have to establish another Sanji Pudding this turn, or be very, very far behind. And instead, we get a Zoro here, which Zoro does rest the Tashigi, which we don't care about at all in this matchup. At least at this point, right? Because now they have the Luffy ability without having a Sanji Pudding on board, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I guess they didn't have to do that, but hey, we'll take it. Because next turn they go to 6 Dawn. And for us, we go to 8. So, we're going to go 6 into a 5. I don't mind. We'll counter out here as well. This will force Zoro to go into it. Or for him to Dawn up to swing over the Tashigi. 5 and 5. We'll give you a Kobe here. I'm not sure why he's so, like, intent on getting rid of this card. Most Luffy decks don't utilize removal, so. But we'll take that. We'll pop this, boost Smoker. We'll play it on the Mihawk, we'll do the thing. Okay. If only we had Kobe on board here for the drawing cards. If we got a Bonnie, that would have been really, really crisp for this turn. Ooh, actually. I mean, this forces Giant anyway, right? If not, we get 2 2k counters. Giant for sure steals him, like, gets him out of this hit. Oh, he takes the banish. Okay. I don't know why you would take that hit, to be fair. But we'll go 9 again into this. This way we can just control board. There's no way you protect this. He does. He bogwas. Really. Why wouldn't you just bogwa yourself there? Right? Because you go to 10k, you save a life, and then you just let the Zoro go. That way you kept the 2k counter in hand, and you kept the extra life. You just lost the Zoro on board instead. I don't think keeping that Zoro on the field is of importance here. Especially when you lost a life here. Kind of a weird play. Alright, well, good game. See if we can find another one. Hopefully Purple Katakuri is good enough. I will be looking for more Luffy's, don't worry guys. I'm going to see if I can find that matchup again today. Along with Zoro and Rayleigh if possible. But either way, we're diving into another matchup against Purple Katakuri in PRB2 or OP12. I would assume this Katakuri is utilizing the new stuff here when it comes to the 7-drop pudding, so this could be a very, very stressful matchup, especially if he's able to see the ACOS Mihawks on curve, or just have a decent wall, which he's starting off good with a Nana, so we'll take that. I guess we're taking Kobe here. Can't get anything else, unfortunately. But Kobe still has still has value here in this matchup no matter what. Being able to pop some of the cheap blockers and always enabling us to draw cards is really good. This should be a hit. Nice. So Kata goes to 4. There's the pudding. So he's able to swing on me for 7k this turn. And I'm cool with taking this hit here. Oh, he just goes 6. Interesting. That's fine too, but still. Our hand is not the best right now. But we do have removal for the Peril Sparrow, which is really, really huge here this match. We stand one more Dawn here. Not that it matters. I guess we can just go heavy here, right? Or we can go... Yeah, we can go 8k. We'll just force it. Because he took the first swing. So this way we get 2 2ks or he takes the hit. Never mind. Goes down to 3 life. That's kind of terrifying, especially when we have Smoker already on the field. He does have the blocker, but still. 4, 5. We go to 7 next turn. I cannot trash with Ben Beckman. Oh. No Peril Sparrow. Interesting. Okay. That's a lot of puddings. I mean, he gets to ramp really well. 1. Should get another one. Yep, 2, 3. He got 3 Dawn off that. Is crazy, actually. That's pretty insane. We have to counter here, too. Sorry, Kobe. Because he's going to go to 10 Dawn next turn, just in case it's a, 10 cost Mom. And we have no blockers up, Alright, we'll burn this. We'll give the boost to Smoker. Playing Beckman here might be a not the best idea. But we can establish another 5-cost Smoker on board, which is pretty terrifying. Because if he wants to drop a 10-cost Mom or a Peril Sparrow, I don't think he has the Dawn to enable to remove Smoker here. Unless he just stacks all 5 and just goes for it. And then swings at 11k into it. Okay. We have 12k worth of counters, so you know what I mean. Like, we can go up to 12k, so I think we'd be fine. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go 8 lead here as well. So we get 2 AK swings. We got 1 blocker out of the way, and then this time we'll probably get more cards out of hand. If not, that means we've gotten 2 big AK swings to face. 6. Another 2k, please. Alright, so we get a pudding and then a Strusen. Yep. Draws 2. There's a Katakuri. What else do you play here off the pudding, though? Oh, that's right. Never mind. He played the Katakuri with the pudding. My fault. But he still has 2 Dawn left. So he's swinging here with everything. 5 lead. And then he goes 7 with the leader here. So that means we have to guard one of these swings. And then take the other hit. Or we force out the block with Rosinante. I also need cards here too. Okay. So he's just going to Dawn up. Alright. I'll give you the Beckman. Because we're going to need the Tashigi to guard out for the Katakuri swing. Or we lose the Rosinante here. Because you have to do the Dawn thing, right? Go to 6k. Yep. I'll give you a 2. I think we can survive here. It might be an uphill battle, but I think we can do it. We've seen 2 Mulguns and 2 Tashigis, unfortunately. But this still enables us to remove the Katakuri. It might be a little, like, lackluster here, but we're going to have to drop both of these to remove this Katakuri on board. So, there's that. Restand 2. Restand an additional 1 with Smoker ability. He's got 5 in hand. We go, what, 9 and 9, 5? Or sorry, 9, 9, and 5? Or we go 7, 9, 5? Let's just go 7. We'll see if he has counter, depending on what he wants to do here. I forgot I already used Smoker ability. It's my bad. Because we've got quite a bit of cards out of hand for the past 2 turns. 2k? Yep. Okay, so there's that. We could go 8-8 here, which isn't bad. Oh, wow. Sure. I guess we'll just do it again. We can go 6. Just in case we get an Igloo off life or something, we have the Dawn for the... Or, sorry, we have the Dawn to utilize it. Going 6 either forces the last card in hand or just does the damage anyway. So Big Mom won't help him here. He's going to need to either get Katakuri blockers or a Pudding, which he did end up getting the Pudding. So Pudding could come down and draw into an 8-cost Katakuri for him, which is problematic because he gets a blocker on board. And we do have to take some of these hits here. There's the Peacock. I was hoping for Mihawk, honestly, but what are you going to do? I have to be careful. Just in case we take this hit and he has, like, Sovereignty to pop the Rosinante. Because you can still go, what, 7? Because Sovereignty is 6 Dawn. Which would force out my Tashigi and my Jewelry Bonnie. Yep. 4. So he's going to play down the Pudding here. I would imagine, because he has 7 Dawn left, right? But again, if we take this hit and he just swings in, yeah, let's drop the 2k for now. Oh, I forgot about that one too, because the 5k Pudding can swing as well. That could have been bad if we took that hit. Okay. There's this. Even if he does Sovereignty now, he only can swing for 5k with the other Pudding, which we have counter for. So 7 cost hits the board, right? He draws 2 extra cards, because we know he has that in hand. I don't know what else he would play with 7 Dawn for this turn. Oh. Okay. Interesting. We'll give you the 2. Sparrow for 5? Yep. I was for sure he got a 7. Yeah, he did have her. Why wouldn't he just play that instead of doing that? Because odds are you can just play the pudding, draw 2, and then play Pawseplayz down as well. You dot minus, but you get to draw 2 cards. So, I'm not sure why you decided to do it that way, but we'll go 9 lead. I'll take it though. We burned a Katakuri off life. There's the Big Mom, and good game, buddy. Well played. Interesting. Okay, well, bye to you. Did you guys think I was going to forget Jewelry Bonnie? How could I? I'm trying to. This matchup is very, very annoying to deal with. But having the Cavendish on board with Tashigi makes this very challenging. Although, we're kind of favored here. But I feel like we're only favored when we have the Mulligan. If we have Mulligan, we're able to pop Cavendish on site. If not, Cavendish gets to stay on board and get a lot more value. Now, again, with the Cavendish and Tashigi being able to play down, back to back, it makes this very, very challenging. Just like in this situation, she has Tashigi here. We have an option of popping this or establishing Smoker. Because next turn she's probably going to play Cavendish here. Then it makes it impossible for us to remove it. Then we miss our chance of playing Smoker down. I think Smoker is just a little bit more value here, unfortunately. Because I think we're wrong if we don't play Smoker here. But we live and learn, so we'll drop Smoker down. Restand our Dawn. Unfortunately. We'll just go 5 here. Okay. And we'll establish our own low Tashigi. Well, actually, we don't need Tashigi in this matchup, do we? I don't believe so. At least not until the late game when she decides to drop down Shanks. So, 5 lead. I can't really take all of these hits. So, we'll drop this. Yep. Saw that coming. Rosinante as well. Ooh, we get a Kobe. Kobe is really good here in this matchup. Like, really, really good. Because it allows us to remove the Searcher Bonnies. We'll go ahead and pop that. Get this out of the way. We can minus and pop. Restand Dawn. And it doesn't matter if she decides to rest Smoker here or not, because we have a Paradise Waterfall. We just can't establish Kobe on this turn. So, we'll do the thing. Sorry. Do the thing. We might as well just go 8 lead. Leave up the Dawn here, just in case she decides to go heavy into Smoker. That was a really good play for us. Thankfully, we had both Mole Pistols there, or Mole Guns. Yep, there's a Mihawk. Oh, okay. 8 lead. I mean, I suppose this is fine. There's the Bonnie. Having a Hody here would be kind of nice. But I guess nothing is stopping Bonnie from swinging it with me. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. This works, this works, this works. Because now we can rest the Mihawk. Or no, we can rest the Rosinante, we can rest the Dawn. Because it doesn't matter if we rest this or not, because she has the Rosinante to protect it. Yep. There's a second Hody. Okay. And I think we can survive. Unless she draws, Fishman herself. So we remove this. And I think she's forced to block out here with Mihawk, or give me cards in hand. Okay, smart. Because then we would have just ran everything with Hody into the Mihawk there. Which is pretty good on her part. We're still at 5 Dawn, though. We have to probably play down another blocker. I think so, right? Because then we have a Dawn, and then we have a Chopper blocker on board. Sure. Yep. Ooh. No, that's fine. That's fine. Because we couldn't play Bonnie there. I mean, I suppose we could if we didn't use our Smoker ability there. But we had to play the Smoker ability anyway before we could play Bonnie down, and then Bonnie still doesn't stand a Dawn. So, I think that was fine to do it that way. We can use this, and then restand our Smoker. Just in case she has Doflamingo or Shanks to pop something. The Hody is kind of irrelevant. What do you think it is? It's got, yep, Shanks, cool. Glad we played into that well. Okay, we'll play Hody down again. Rest the Dawn. And then we should be able to win. I hope. So I think we would still have to go 9 here, wouldn't we? Or can we just go 7? I think we're risking it. Well, no, not really. Because we still have 3 extra attacks. Yeah. Let's try it. Odds are she's pretty bricked up. But who knows? There's a carrot. We'd be risking a lot here. But we're going to lose next turn anyway, so. Nice. We stand Dawn. Now we can go 7-9. Or 8-8. Please? Well played. Look at that, man. That won't happen again. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and dive into another matchup here with Smoker playing into blue-purple Luffy this time around. We did play against another green-purple Luffy after the Bonnie matchup. We ended up winning another 3 minutes, and they disconnected. They didn't want to do another round, so we just dived into another matchup here. Unfortunately, I am not the best at navigating this match with Smoker. I don't have enough practice here into this matchup as Smoker. I know how to play into this deck list, but unfortunately, in the late game, I feel like we just don't have enough gas to sustain ourselves in this matchup. Especially when they have access to Red Rock. Hypothetically, right? If we're playing a Fortress build of Smoker by any means here with 8-cost kit or whatever, we have Tashigi to protect it. But he's still swinging 9Ks without Dawn attached, right? And then Luffy has means of just using God Thread to pop our Smoker, or the poppity thing that we have on board that's relevant, that gives him ramp. I think this matchup in general is just really, really difficult for us, because we can do well in the early to mid game, and we have, right? He went first, unfortunately. He got the God Thread, pops the Kobe, ramps up. So we lose our first body that we play on curve, okay? The following turn here, we have Smoker. We also have Mihawk for the next turn. Like, we're sitting really, really good here. Now, how can we get to the late game and survive and win? Because the longer these matchups go into this deck, the harder it becomes to win. Because he establishes the Mihawk, the Sanji, you know, back to back. Or what have you, right? It makes it a little bit more difficult. There's a Nami. He's got 2 blockers on board here. We do have the answer for the Nami with the Mulgun. So we can Mihawk. We have to take this hit as well, unfortunately. So there's a Sanji, or sorry, a Chopper. We have an Igloo as well. We're going to drop the Mihawk, restand the Dawn. We're going to go ahead and use our leader ability here as well. Go up to 6, restand another one here with Smoker. So now we're at 7, so Mihawk technically costed 1, which is really good. We'll spend 4, we'll pop this, right? He's got 1 Dawn open. We'll pop that, we'll give this a boost. And I think, as much as I want to, we have to have a Dawn here on leader to be able to swing here as well. And we don't have the Dawn up for the Igloo. We'll go 8. 8's still a good number here. He does give us the blocker, of course. With the pass turn. So now Luffy's ability is active, right? He gets to do the thing. He's got the Sanji. We already know what's about to happen here. Plays Sanji down, probably plays Mihawk. Bounces the Tashigi to bottom. Goes 6th lead. Leaves open 1 Dawn for Gum Gum Giant, right? That's kind of telegraphed at this point. Unless he Gravity Blades, but then he's only removing the Tashigi here, so I assume it's Sanji to the Mihawk. Yep. And now what do we do? He saw the God Thread, he saw the combo into Sanji Mihawk on curve. And I can't say we haven't seen the pieces we needed. We've seen the pieces we needed. We got to play Kobe on curve, got to play Smoker and Mihawk on curve. But he just has the better late game, I think. Perhaps if he didn't see the God Thread with the Kobe, his ability would have been 1 Dawn off, or sorry, 1 turn late, which is good. But I don't think it necessarily mattered. I could be wrong. I definitely want to put more time into this matchup, though. But I do think, however, this was a perfect game for us as well. We got 2 blockers down. For Nosuke, so he's got another 2K in hand. We know he's got a what do you call it? Gum Gum Giant. Going 6. I cannot take this hit. I mean, yep. Now we can use our Igloo. Or we give him both 1K counters or the Tony Chopper. Let's do Igloo. We'll boost this, we'll minus that. So he's forced to Dawn up the Sanji to run into the Smoker here. And if he does that, he cannot play another Sanji Mihawk body. Yep. Fair enough. It's a scary board. Still with the Dawn active, though. And he's countered out of every swing, necessarily, because he's had the blockers on board in the early game. Law's not doing anything here. Rosinante could be helpful, because it gives us another blocker down, which is nice. And then we have access to dropping the Bonnie this turn as well, by replacing the Virgo. And then she'll draw us 2 more cards. So we'll swing here, just to have a rested character. I suppose we need to swing with Smoker first, right? That way he's forced to either let it banish or counter out so it doesn't banish. And then we need to leave 5 Dawn to utilize Bonnie's effect here. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that'll work out. This will be 10. So that's a giant plus 1. Let's just go 8. Let's just go 8. Yep. Because we knew we had the Nosuke already. Right, so we'll go 9 to Mihawk here. Just try to see if we get more cards out of hand. Another 2K counter. We're definitely not going to survive next turn without the Bonnie. Ooh, I forgot. That wasn't math. But there wasn't really much else we were going to be able to do there to get our effect off, because we can't really swing with our Chopper. We can't swing with the Mihawk there either. We just have to take the blocker. And that's really it. So we have 4 blockers down, 1 Smoker up. He has 5 swings this turn. And now we just start chipping off bodies here. God Thread. Yep. Double God Thread. Okay. You're just better. That's all it is. You're just better. That's fine. Yep. And I believe that's game. That's math, right? Get a Hody here. Yep. I think we needed a 2K there to survive, I believe. And then even still, we still only have 3 attacks with the Hody. But if the Hody was a 2K, we wouldn't have the Hody. So, well played. We did our best. Oh, they left anyway. They just saw the nuts, man. Hopefully you guys aren't tired of this matchup. I apologize. I just feel like this matchup is pretty good in the current metagame, especially Luffy being one of the top tier, or sorry, tier 1, tier 2 decks. Very strong leader in the current format. However, don't sleep on Smoker. I mean, or do. Because I think this leader has a favorable matchup, correct me if I'm wrong, into this match, or sorry, into this leader. Now, it's not strictly because we have removal for the Sanji Pudding, but it's also because we have on-site removal for Sanji Pudding when we do see the Mulligan. Now, outside of that, Luffy doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of blockers that he plays on board that are relevant that we can't remove with Kobe. And then on top of that, we have access to the 5-cost Smoker, which forces Luffy to give me cards out of hand early or into the late game. Then with the Mulligan, we can go ahead and pop the Sanji P, or we can reduce the rush Luffy when it turns sideways and just run into it. We have a lot of tools in this matchup that really just kind of favor Smoker just a little bit. Now, being able to play Smoker here on curve obviously is crucial, but I feel like getting that good hand that you have a Searcher and Mulligan is key. I think at least for this matchup. What do we get here? You know what? We're going to take another Smoker. Yes, we have Igloo, but again, going wide with 2 Banish swings, it's no joke, man. That is the 3rd search, by the way. So he has the Rush Luffy. He's got 5 down open for the Sanji P. Assuming he has it. No, he doesn't. Okay. Well, I think we just win by default now. If he doesn't have Sanji P, anyway. I mean, we have the removal for it, but still. He didn't see it on curve, which is good for us. That's fine. We get a Hody. He's going to leave 1 Dawn up to combat Smoker. We get another 2K counter, which is good. We'll go ahead and trash this, boost Smoker. And I think going 8K is fine, because it still forces him to give me 2 2Ks out of hand, or a 2K, 1K, 1K. Or it forces him to Gum Giant, which is alright. But first, let's play another Smoker down. Let's do the thing. Let's do the thing again. And now we'll just smack him. Everything on board that he has right now is kind of irrelevant at this point. Just because he has to attach Dawn to Zoro next turn to be able to swing into the Smoker. Is it 5, 6? It goes to 8 Dawn, right? Yeah, 8 Dawn next turn. And he has to play Sanji Pudding if he has it in hand. So if he got it off the Going Merry draws, if not, he's pretty much cooked, because he's not going to be able to play the Luffy and attach Dawn to Zoro to swing over the Smoker. So we'll force more cards out of hand here as well. There's a Zoro, 4 Dawn open. I guess we'll just establish Shikobi here, because I don't necessarily want to play this right now. It's not bad. I think he's only going to be able to get 1 Sanji Pudding in this game, so if he has it, we have another one, so it's fine. There's another Searcher. Gets another Zoro. Plays Zoro. And good game. There's Luffy Taro. So what is that? Hold up. Luffy Taro, 2 Zoro, right? 2 Namis. Or sorry, 3 Namis. There's no way he just gets to leave like that without playing a round 2, man. It was just unlucky. But he played down 3 Namis, 2 Zoro, and he got 2 draws off the stage. So that's seeing 5, 10, 15, 20 cards plus 2 extra draws off the Going Merry. Plus his turns. Now, this deck itself has 6 cards in the deck that actually searches now, right? So you have the Zoro, the Luffy Taro, right? You have the 1-cost event, and then you have the other Nami. And I think I might be missing one, but that's 4 that searches. Right? I'm probably missing one. So there should be no reason why you don't see Sanji Pudding every game. I mean, unless it's just extremely bad luck. That's kind of crazy. So, we'll see what happens again this game. Because I know this deck is not inconsistent by any means necessary. We all know it's not. However, we have 2 Mulguns in hand, and he does have it this time on curve. So he goes from not seeing it at all last game to actually getting it on curve this game. In which I think we might make him a little upset, because we have on-spot removal. We'll take the hit. It's a blocker. I guess they do play chopper blockers. Interesting. We'll play the Smoker down, where we stand some Dawn here. We stand an extra Dawn. Then we'll pop the Sanji Pudding. Unfortunate. 3, 4, 5. So they go to what? 7 Dawn next turn? We don't need to use this ability here. I guess we can, because Kobe can swing. Because if we don't, then we don't have the Dawn to be able to attach the lead. Unfortunately, we can't draw a card, though. But it's okay. This will still force cards out of hand here. Unless he wants to go to 1 life. Can I have a 2K? Oh, he does take the hit. Okay, we'll do it again. Yep, so we get a 2K out of that. Going Mary. There's a Nami Searcher. He's got 6 Dawn left, so he needs to play another Sanji Pudding if he has it. Gets in a 2K. There's a Sanji Pudding. Does the thing. Restands 2. Gets an extra Dawn. Goes back up to 4. Goes 8 lead. Interesting. I'll counter out here. Because we don't need the Tashigis really in this match. Plus 2 cost. Sure. I'm so sorry. Not really. But, you know. Good game, I guess. Yeah, he was pretty upset. That's fine. He deserved it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll probably play one more matchup after this one, then we'll dive back into the end of the video for the deck list here. I do hope you guys have been enjoying this one. I've been trying my best to get a variety of different decks to play up against here as Smoker. I've been having a lot of fun, a lot of success with these, with Smoker as of late, to be fair. And I do feel like my hardest matchups have been Blue-Purple Luffy, of course. Rayleigh is very challenging when I do run into it. Unfortunately, at my local scene, we have a lot of Rayleigh players. I mean, a lot. So I'm going to get as much practice in as possible there, more so than on the sim. Outside of that, I think those are my worst matchups. I think Zoro is definitely winnable when we go second, which is kind of weird, because we just established a Kobe on board, and it draws us cards, and this is able, you know, Kobe's able to do things, and he can't really attack into it unless he wants to invest heavy, because Kobe's a 7k. Which is really nice. He can't really pop Smoker either because it's an 8k on his turn. So it's a little bit harder for him to remove the bodies on board, in which we can easily guard out. That's at least how I look at that matchup. The other hard matchup I think that can be challenging, of course, would be a Nell, right? Just because he has so many different ways of removing my small bodies on board. You know, with Kuzan being able to put Tashigi in life, Katakuri, Yamato being able to pop Smokers and stuff, Gadetsu, it's just, there's that matchup, but you don't really see that, so not really stressed over that too much. Nami can be kind of difficult, if she does see the right pieces. Being a 7k leader is a little bit easier for her to guard out of the Smoker swing, so that matchup's kind of challenging, but it's not too bad. Either way. We're going to dive into the last Katakuri matchup of the day, at least I hope so. I feel like a lot of people are playing this deck as well, which is nice, because it's something fresh, something different, that we don't see every single day at locals, which is kind of cool. So I'm pretty hyped about this. Either way, we're going to do one more after this, and I'll call it a wraps. I do hope you guys have been enjoying this one, because it's been a lot of fun for me, especially being able to come back and finally record videos and have a voice, being able to do this. Although I feel like there's never any downtime and I talk way too much, so I'm sorry about that. 9 here. Smart, actually. Going 10. He really wants to remove this. We'll guard, though. Unfortunate for you. Having Kobe it's just so good, man. Just having that mechanic to be able to draw extra cards, it's just a buff that Smoker needed. So we get a Searcher there, which is nice. 4, 5, 6. We go to 8. next turn, so we have options of Mihawking, which is good. However, I don't have a way of removing the Pawsparrow right now. Let's Mihawk. Let's do the Dawn thing. Let's restand some more here, so Mihawk is basically 1 Dawn. Which is never bad, by the way. Always free value. Let's swing with Kobe first. I know we can restand 1 more Dawn, but just in case... Oh, there she was, too. We had Bonnie on top deck. That sucks. Man. That'd been crazy. We swung, we drew a Bonnie, played Bonnie down, drew 2 more cards. That'd been awesome. Because then we would have had Dawn for the Igloo as well. Alright, we get a Kobe. That would have been the dream. I'm hoping he minuses Dawn here. That's why we didn't go 7. No, he gave us a 2K instead. Which is fair. I definitely don't want to go swinging into the Pawsparrow. I kind of want to banish Half-Life. I know Paro does so much for the deck. I just don't see it like being worthwhile for me to swing my Smoker into it. Let's trash this. Let's boost up. Give us an additional. Go up to 8K lead. So he minuses Dawn, goes to 6, gives me 2 cards in hand. Yes? Cool. So we get a blocker and a 2K out of hand there. That is really good for us. Now we could go 5 with Virgo here. Which isn't necessarily too bad, but we're going to go 9 into this instead. We can still restand a Dawn with the Smoker. This will force more cards out of hand here, because he wants to have Pawsparrow on board. Yep, we got rid of 2 2Ks there, which is really good. We'll pass turn. So no matter what he does here, he's not going to be able to remove Kobe and Smoker. 5 lead, minus this goes 6. That's not a problem. Because now we can go ahead and Igloo. Give us a boost and lower Pawsparrow. This way he can't swing on anything here. And if he wants to swing, I think we have ways of killing it next turn. Ooh, there's a mulligan. Now we definitely do. He's gonna go 6, we'll guard out. I don't know why you swung there, it's crazy. 5 lead. We give you the Kobe. Actually. Hold on. Is that math? I think that's math, right? Because we could Beckman and Mulligan. Yeah, we're good. Because we just Mulligan the Katakuri. Yep. I feel like I got more value out of Beckman than I have out of Law, by the way. Which is kind of crazy. And Law has been in every single variation of Smoker that we've done today. Which is interesting. But what are you gonna do? Just draw a free card. There's a Bonnie. I think your boy's cooked here. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Just drew an extra card off the trigger. No problem. We'll go 5. This will force him to minus Dawn or give me a 1K. Takes the hit. We'll go 8 here. He has to counter out here. 2 2Ks, and we'll pass it over. I don't really need to swing here with Mihawk at all. He can just chill. So there's a Pudding. Got the 7-cost Pudding. Draws 2 cards. 8-cost Katakuri. Oh, wow. That's nice, man. That feels really good. You got 23 worth of Dawn there in a turn, by the way. That's 3 bodies, which is kind of crazy. We'll guard here. However, I don't think having the 2 additional blockers is going to matter too much. Because we can still get around this. I guess we just take the Law, right? I guess we can take Rosie too, which isn't bad. Yeah, I guess we'll take Rosie. Because we're going to go ahead and throw away Peacock to give the boost to Smoker here. And then we can play Rosie down to restand extra Dawn. Right, so now we have Hull or Dawn back. And we'll go 9, just in case he's got a 2k counter in hand. Or 10, sorry. Math's hard. Just in case he did have a 2k. Well, never mind. We only needed to go 9, really. Because now he's forced to block here with 10 cost or Banish Life. Okay. Let's go 6. There's a Mold Pistol, which is nice. Goes to 6. Gives me a 1. 2 swings left. Go 8. And a good game, buddy. Well played. I mean, so far, man, I mean, he did well. He actually played really, really well. I think just having the removal and the constant banish swing every single turn is kind of nutty. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's been the last game of the day. Coming at you guys with Smoker playing into Zoro here in OP12. Zoro did win the die roll, so he did get to go first. Which is fine. I'd much rather go second here in this matchup. Oof, man. Our pickings are kind of slim here. We'll take the Tsushigi just for the 2k. Oof, man. That's rough. It's actually rough. No, actually, it's not bad. We'll take the Kobe. We'll take the Kobe. Kobe's going to be really good here in this matchup. Just because he's a 7k body on Zoro's turn, so it's just 1 2k to counter out, keep him on board, and then he'll just keep drawing us cards. I think being able to have Kobe to draw into Mihawk or draw into, like, Hody Jones is just really good here. Of course, we need to find Smoker, but it's a start, okay? However, we did see 5 cards for our opener hand, right? And then 2 searches, so 15 cards, no Smoker. Either he's on the bottom of the deck or he's in life, so. I will remove the Hiyori. And I think we'll run Peacock into it. Yep. 7 lead, that's fine. We'll take the first hit. Please. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Okay. There's a Virgo. I mean... yeah, because we're just establishing Kobe here, so... this is fine. I just assume that Zoro is going to play down, something to rest it anyway, so we'll just do this. I think both of these cards are probably going to go next turn, if he does have anything to rest characters, because he'll attack into that and lead, so it doesn't really matter here. Whether or not we swing in with Virgo or not. Let's go 5 lead. Takes the hit, okay. So now we can establish Kobe. And he goes with the 5, right? So this could be what's her name? Kuina, right? The 5 cost. To rest the Kobe. He gets the Dawn to swing in for 8k, which we have the 2k counter, and the Tsushigi to guard out for. Because if he doesn't do that, then the Peacock gets to stay on board. So I don't think swinging into the Peacock here is warranted. I think he has to try to go for Kobe. Yep. 8th Kobe. Right? You better be going for Kobe. I believe in you. Yep, okay, cool. So give you the 2k. Then he goes 8k face. Then we will take this hit. We get another Searcher, which we don't need right now. Okay, another Searcher. Which kind of sucks, because we're in a situation where we have all Searchers that are going to refill our hand. That means we cannot play a Searcher down, unless we play it down and don't draw anything intentionally, before we can draw another card with Kobe. Because right now we have 7 cards in hand, so I could play one down and not take anything, period. Which might be okay. It just seems a little weird. Like, I'd rather keep it as counter, you know? So we'll just go 6. It is what it is. Because I suppose we could have played Peacock there and then trashed it to boost Kobe to 7 and not take anything off the search to get an extra draw with Kobe. But I don't think that necessarily matters, right? Because we're getting to draw off the search anyway. So we got 1 2K out of the first swing. He takes the second one. We have 2 left. Might as well get these on board. We'll take the 2K and the X-Drake. We'll set up an extra Dawn. We'll pass it over. Because now we have the Igloo to protect our Kobe and our Smoker if he has another Tashigi. And yes, I realized I said Kuina earlier, by the way, for the 5 cost. That's my bad. Tashigi. Alright. I believe Kuina is the 4 cost, right? Or the 3 cost. That rest is the 4. My bad. Alright, so what are we doing here? Because we're on 8 for him, right? 7. Sorry. Cavendish. Yep. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We'll take that. But he also needs to have the... Okay, so he has her as well. Which she will rest the Peacock here. I would imagine. And then Zoro gets the 3 Dawn, so he gets a swing for 8. So the only other attackers here that we have to worry about is Tashigi. But she can't swing over anything here. Because he goes 8 into Virgo, instead of getting cards out of hand for the Kobe. Okay. Interesting. That's fine. Yep. Goes 8 here. I'll go ahead and Igloo. I'll go up to 8 myself. And then we'll minus the Tashigi here. Yes, I'm aware we have to give another card out of hand now, but now Tashigi can't swing into any character on board here, which is fine. Cool. I guess regardless of however I did that, we would still have to get rid of the same cards, so. Ooh, okay. We get a Dead Man's Game, which is pretty strong. We'll go ahead and pop this, give a boost. And we have to remove the 1 drop. Or sorry, the 4 drop. Which we can off the Kobe ability. So we don't have to attack into it this turn, which is nice. Let's play Mihawk first, where we stand all of our Dawn. Because, you know, card effects and everything. Being pretty good. So again, we play Mihawk on curve for 8. And we only have to spend 1 Dawn for that, which is nice. So we're going to go 9, leave with Banish. I don't care about Tashigi being on board at all. I'm just going to be aggressive here in this matchup. And that's really the game plan, because we have the Mihawk blocker, we got the Kobe here. We're going to remove the Kuina on board and draw an extra card. And then the following turn, we have the Hody Jones, a Dead Man's Game. So I'm pretty sure we're safe. And finally, Kobe comes through and we pull off the Jewelry Bonnie from the top deck. Which now... Is that right? That's math, isn't it? 7... 8, 9. Yeah, that's math. So we can play Jewelry Bonnie down and draw 2 additional cards here. And then trash another card in hand. So. Because otherwise we just play down a Chopper blocker with a Dead Man's Game. And I don't necessarily want to use that if I don't have to. The only problem would be Zoro having the Restand event plus a Dead Man's Game. Because I think we still have enough counter for it. I think, but I could be wrong. We'll get rid of Law, I guess. As much as I kind of want to throw away the Hody, but I think the Hody is probably going to seal the deal here. But then again, we might not need it, depending on what he plays here. If he goes for game and he has no blocker, then he's just cooked. Because I don't think he can spend 5 Dawn with Dead Man's, rest both blockers, and have enough to go for game here. So he's got 5 left, right? What do we play? Another Tashigi? To rest Jewelry Bonnie? To restand 3 Dawn to Zoro? Maybe? Yep, cool. So he gets to attach 3 more, yep. So now he can only swing 8 into Jewelry Bonnie, technically. Which, we'll guard out here with Mihawk. Okay, yeah, he's actually going to do that. Cool. I didn't think he was going to attack into Kobe or Smoker because it's easier for us to guard. So we'll guard out with Mihawk. He's got 3 cards in hand. We don't need Mihawk to go for game. And unfortunately, I mathed wrong and we should have just countered out of the Mihawk there. That's kind of my bad, but he can't attack into any other character on board anyway. So, because we guarded out with the Mihawk there. Which, hey yo, I can't be mad. Him on the other hand, I think he's cooked. Because he has, what, 2 attacks this turn with Cavendish and Tashigi. He has to swing in with the Cavendish to get the Dawn restood. Which means he could go, what, 6, 8, 9? I guess. Because he gets 2 extra Dawn with Cavendish. But Zoro has to go for face here. So Zoro's going to put us down to 1, technically. So he goes up to 6. We'll give you the 2k counter. And we have an additional 2k left. And there's nothing he can do about it. Because even if he goes 9 with the Shigi, we just take the hit. Okay, so we go 7 here. And we'll guard out here as well. And then he has to go for face. Yep. And we just take this hit as well. He left up 2 Dawn. So perhaps he has 2 Dead Man's Games in hand to go up to 8k each time, plus Mihawk swing. Or sorry, Mihawk block. Or maybe he's running something cheeky with Waterfall. So, we're not going to play around these games. We're going to block this and block that. Or sorry, rest that and rest this. We stand 2. He's got 1 Dawn open. So it's still the possibility of him having a Waterfall. Because if we go 7... Actually, let's just play Hody. Just in case, right? Just in case. Alright. Let's go ahead and swing... No, I guess we should swing with Smoker first, right? Just to banish life. And I do need to keep the Dawn, I think. That way, Jewelry Bonnie can swing for 7. So we'll go 5, we get a Perona. Which, this is the first Perona we've seen all game. In which we didn't really need, because we got to see everything else. You know, the Smoker that was relevant here. We'll go 7. He did counter out of that one. So either dumps his hand or takes the hit. Okay. That's good. And there should be math, right? Cool. Well played, buddy. Because now we just go 5 and go 9. And that's a GG. Yep. Look at that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video, in which today we played around with Smoker quite a bit, actually. We played multiple different deck lists and stuff, and I think this is the last one we ended on for the past 2 games, I believe. This one here is probably my favorite variation. I'm not too sure how I feel about the Perona just yet. Sometimes she comes up, sometimes I feel like I don't need it, but there are opportunities for me to play down Perona and she draws me a Spiderweb. Most of the time I feel like I don't need to see it and I have just enough play off of the Peacock and the Virgo. I feel like the Peacock is just way too good because she draws me the Kobe. And considering the meta is Rayleigh's the best deck in the format, like by far, and having Kobe consistently off the search into that matchup is pretty good. So I feel like she's just not overvalued, but she is just essential, if you will. But again, there's a lot of Smoker decks out there that utilize the Perona, and that's totally cool because she draws you a green event, she draws you Spiderweb, Dead Man's Game. These are typically the only 2 that most variations run outside of Waterfall. And Waterfall is very good as well. Now, outside of that though, what are you getting here? You're getting your Mihawk and you're getting your Smoker. The exact same cards that you get off the Virgo and the Peacock, outside of they cannot search for your Mihawk. So you're hoping to draw into this if you're not running the Perona. But if you're running the Perona, she still enables you to draw, you know, Smoker and Mihawk, which is nice. she just cannot draw you the Kobe. So I don't necessarily think you need all these searchers, but it can still work out because the deck is just so consistent and it can be built in a couple different ways actually, which is really good. So it doesn't hurt you to have all 3 searchers in the deck because they're all drawing the same card for you. Now, the other thing here is Kinemon, which we're talking about the 2K counter. You can cut this out for the X-Drake and run that instead. That way you're being able to draw a 2K off the Perona, which makes it a lot more consistent. I like the X-Drake because I favor, the Navy and the Virgo searcher, but again, adding the Kinemon here does not hurt the deck at all. It actually makes it a little bit better because it gives Perona another card that she can search out for a 2K. But the other card here that I was thinking about considering is going to be, where are you here? This one, the really long name card. This is pretty good if you're running with Perona because it enables you to search out a green event, which this green event is pretty strong into Rayleigh because it enables you to kill 2 characters of 4 cost or less, which everything Rayleigh plays obviously is pretty cheap, right? So just something to consider if your locals is full of Rayleigh players and you have space in your Smoker decks. So just something to think about. Outside of that though, there is another variation of Smoker I've been playing around with. I'm not too confident into the list just yet because I have to get a lot more testing into it. But I was playing around with a Doflamingo package here because obviously I favor Doflamingo. Being able to use Baby 5. Unfortunately though, it's just, this costs 2 Dawn, so the deck is a little bit slower, if you will. And you don't have any ways of drawing into your Smoker, at least in this variation. Of course, I think I can adjust this to play accordingly by cutting out some cards here to be able to draw into get Virgo. So I think Virgo is going to be pretty good, just because he enables you to get Punk Hazard, so you can draw your your Smoker off this in your 2K counter, which is okay. Now, the reasoning for this is to try to combat blue-purple Luffy. Doflamingo's back-to-back. Being able to chain these back-to-back to freeze board can help you stall into the late game. The other downside to this is there's a lot of decks that just go very quickly. And if you're not able to survive into the late game, because you have so many bricks here with 4, 8, 12, not counting your events, so running into Rayleigh, running into some of your bad matchups, this might not do the best. But in theory, on paper, it sounds pretty good, man. Being able to have cards that can rest, so you can spend 1 Dawn, which you typically have with things like the Mihawk or your ability, and resting things on board, whether they're blockers or Cavendish or enemy smokers. It could be pretty fun. But this is something I'm going to be testing into the future, into another video. But currently, this has been my Smoker deck list, in which we played around mainly with 3 different variations. We'll go and show those right fast. Just take a screenshot or pause the video if you want to do that. This is a variation we played around with today. We also played around with this variation here. Very similar decks, but again, can be built in different ways here. You have the Waterfall with the Mihawks to be able to restand this, or you have Mihawk with Spiderwebs. And then we played around with my last variation for the day, which is going to be this one here, which utilizes Spiderwebs for Mihawks if possible. But overall, this has been Pawseplays. Do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm glad to be back. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Remember, hit that like button so we get these videos floating around. And I'm going to try my best to get as much content as possible for the rest of the remainder of this month. Going into November, we have OP13. Do expect pre-releases. I'm going to probably try to do openings and stuff as well for that set, along with doing a whole bunch of locals content with Kuzan, Smoker, and Emu. Going forward, and until OP13, you guys will be getting a lot of Smoker and Kuzan content when it comes to local scene, on top of my sim videos. But either way, this has been Pawseplays. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I will catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. I'll see y'all later.